Aside the door of the mercy, you wonder if there's a place there for you. When you're the peace of God, you're searching for someone who understands the pain you've been through. The Spirit waits with open arms, calling out your name. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, come on in, come on in. There is room enough in the home of love for someone just like you. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, come on in, come on in.
Welcome, welcome. For all those that came on in. Welcome to Unity of London, those of you sitting here and those of you watching online, whether it's as we're speaking or later on. I bet you if you're watching now, you're in your jammies. Lucky you. But we're even more lucky because we get to hug each other and have lots of fun together and fellowship when you're sitting leftover carrot cake on Friday night. If you're a first timer here at Unity of London, we have a table at the back with some information, and we appreciate you filling out a little blue slip of paper with your contact information so that we can keep you posted on what's going on here each week at Unity of London. And so we have some special announcements. So question, what do you get when you get a room full of Unitics in plaid shirts? A hoedown. Somebody was looking for somebody, or, you know, oh, I think she's got a plaid shirt on. The room was full of plaid shirts. And we had a great time, didn't we?
Yes.
Yes. So in particular, we would really like Pauline Duncan-Thrasher, like to thank Pauline Duncan-Thrasher, who took lead, and Don Brigalow was her co-leader, looking after the food, and Amber did a great job on the silent auction. But if everybody in the room, if you had anything to do with the hoedown, getting it started, cleaning up at the end, and anything in between, please stand. Thank you so much. And you can see we're a great community because so many people get involved and pitch in, and many hands make light work, correct? So thank you so much. It was a success, and we'll be telling you more about how successful it was in weeks to come as we add up our monies and check it all out. The other thing, before we go to our vision, one of our guests on Friday night was Paul
Luftenegger.
Luften, you know who I'm talking about.
Luftenegger.
Online, Google him. And I said, Paul, has anybody talked to you since you're going to be here in London to come and share your music here in London on Sunday? So November the 3rd, Paul's going to be our guest soloist, and he's also going to do a workshop following that. So keep posted on that, but tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, tell everybody, gotta come out. And we always have great music here at Unity of London. Paul is phenomenal. If you've never heard him, truly, Google him, listen to him. His music is, talk about music that just touches your heart and your soul. So, okay, so our vision here at Unity of London is the same as almost all Unities worldwide. So let's affirm that together. A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission here in London is transforming lives. And we're going to sing a song. Yay! Oh, check in on Facebook and turn the volume down on your phone too, please. Okay, take it away there.
Sweet light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I won't let anyone put it out. I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let anyone put it out. I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let anyone put it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine for all to see. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine for all to see. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine for all to see. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Spirit sets my light ablaze. I'm gonna let it shine. Spirit sets my light ablaze. I'm gonna let it shine. Spirit sets my light ablaze. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This bright light is part of me. I'm gonna let it shine. This light sets the heart of me. I'm gonna let it shine. I will chase the dark away. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, now, folks.
Good morning. Good morning. Unity's foundation is affirmative prayer. That means that Unity defines prayer as the most highly accelerated mind action known. It is an affirmation of truth and a communion between you and all that is. Through prayer, the mind is renewed and circumstances transformed. If you wish prayer for someone else or for yourself, you are invited to use our prayer box at the front of the church. Put a first name only on a piece of paper. No need to explain because divine mind is all-knowing. It will be prayed for here at Unity by our prayer angels for 30 days and then sent on to Silent Unity for additional prayer. Remember, 24 hours a day you can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY to reach Silent Unity, where people have been praying with and for people for 130 years. If you wish one-on-one prayer or the sharing of healing energy, our prayer chaplain will be available at the back of the sanctuary following the service. Just take a seat in the chair in front of them. And today's prayer chaplain is Sylvia. Sylvia, would you come and lead us in prayer?
So I invite you to settle into your heart space. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. And take a moment and feel the life force flowing through you. The life force that beats your heart. That ensures you take another breath without you thinking. And know that that is love. That love flows through each and every one of us throughout the entire universe. And we take a moment now to send that love out. In particular, we hold in prayer and give additional love to Wendy Carr, for she lost her husband Bill in this past week. He's transitioned. We see Wendy and Bill both going through that change in their life and transition with ease and grace. We hold Hilda, our beloved office manager, in prayer for she also had a loss this week of a brother-in-law. And we send extra love to our dear Carlin, who's not feeling well today. We send love to all the spiritual gatherings happening, for there are many paths to the one God. In particular, we hold in prayer unity of Mississauga and Barrie. I invite you to whisper the name of anyone else that you would like additional love sent to for this prayer into this space. We also hold all of our political leaders that are campaigning at this time, and we see them campaigning with love and respect. And we send them love and respect and appreciation for their willingness to be under a microscope publicly, to be willing to step up and be a leader in our society, for it is not an easy task. And we know that the right and perfect leader will be chosen through our election this week, for whatever happens, wherever you are, with all people and all circumstances, in the middle of it is divine love. And we see this unfolding in a right and perfect way, and so it is. Amen.
And now for our message from the Daily Word, brought to you by Silent Unity. Today's theme is generosity. Divine love, through me, multiplies all that I give and receive. A classic Unity hymn declares, love is something, if you give it away, you end up having more. While it is true that freely sharing my time, talent, and treasure attracts good into my life, I am inspired to give for the sheer joy of giving. Recognizing my oneness with all people in God, I know every thought, word, helping hand, or financial gift I offer blesses me as much as it blesses the one who receives it. Because I know that both giving and receiving are essential to the flow of abundance, I accept with gratitude and love the gifts and blessings that come to me through the loving generosity of others. I count each day as another opportunity for me to give in return. They are to do good, to be rich in good works, generous, and ready to share. 1 Timothy 6, verse 18.
Just like to say, from Carlin, she's very sorry she can't be here today. Very far into it. However, let me do a tune that we did last summer for you, and I noted at that point that the lyrics are a little misleading unless you stop and think about them. And I'm just going to repeat it because several people mentioned to me after the song that they had a new insight into the song and the message too. It's a song by Johnny Reed called Today I'm Going to Try and Change the World. You all know the song, I'm sure. But I pointed out that if you look at the lyric, particularly the first verse, today I'm going to try and change the world. Well, I think we generally look at that and think, okay, well, he's going to try to make a big change. I don't think that's what he's saying at all. I think what he's saying is, I'm going to try. And by trying, I'm going to change the world. day at a time. I made my resolution, open up my eyes. Today I'm going to try and change the world. Say hello to my neighbor, greet him with a smile. Take the hand of a stranger, talk with him for a while. Gonna tell someone I love them from the bottom of my heart. Today I'm gonna try and change the world. Today I'm gonna try and change the world. Gonna take it one day at a time. I've made my resolution, open up my eyes. Today I'm gonna try and change the world. Sure, my children know right from wrong. Never turn my back on those who need someone. I'm always gonna try to see myself through another's eyes. Today I'm gonna try and change the world. Today I'm gonna try and change the world. Gonna take it one day at a time. I've made my resolution, open up my eyes. Today I'm gonna try and change the world. Yes, today I'm gonna try and change the world. Gonna take it one day at a time. I've made my resolution, open up my eyes. Today I'm gonna try and change the world. Today I'm gonna try. Try's what counts. Change the world.
Look who's talking today. Our very own Pauline. And as most people know, Pauline is certainly a very involved member here at Unity of London, but she's also continually transforming and learning, and soon, in time, will be a licensed Unity teacher for us. So she will share her wisdom, her insights, and her love. Please welcome Pauline Duncan-Thrash.
Thank you very much, Sylvia, and welcome to everybody who's here. And anybody who's watching, we welcome you as well. Today I kind of vandalized in a way, not real vandalized, but I don't know if you noticed a bare space on the wall up there. Somebody's nodding, oh yes, she did. Because I took this off the wall. I wanted you to know that Unity principles are not just meant to hang on the wall, they're meant to be in our heart. And today is a message about what's in our heart and what we think about and what we need to live by. And so I chose principle 3 and principle 4. It's not that they're commandments. It's not that they're, if you don't do it, something horrible will happen to you. No, that's not how we work at Unity. But they are principles. And I'll put the first one on. I'll stop holding this. And I promise I will put it back after. Have you ever had one of those days where you wake up in the morning and you think, ugh, this is a horrible day. Everything is going wrong. Have you ever had a day like that? This is not going to be a day like that. So you can release that out of your mind. This is going to be a day of affirming and finding a practice that I guarantee, I promise you from my heart, I promise you that if you practice this message every single day, your life will be transformed. And it's not a miracle cure. It's not a pill that you take. It's something that you do because you know within yourself that this will make you happy. In my purple bag is something for anybody who wants to take it when they, you can't take the whole bag. There is something in it that you can take when you go. So the unity principle, thanks to dear Larry who put this on while I was rambling. We are co-creators with God. Co-creators. That in itself is a powerful message. And whether you call God divine mind or source or that inner powerful voice, to believe that you co-create is strengthening. Through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. So it's not just about speaking. It's not just about looking nice and having fun. It's a lot more than that. Oops. Well, maybe that's why. All right. Thank you, dear Larry, our president of the board, who's back there doing the slides because he's got intuition. Will you turn around? Please turn around and look at Larry and wave to him and say, Larry, we love you.
We love you.
Larry, we love you.
I love me too.
I'll be sharing a lot from this book called Life Loves You. It is in the bookstore. Amber has some copies. No, I'm not here to sell the books, but I am here to say that this is a powerful message. Life loves you. Period. It doesn't love you if you're pretty, or if you're helpful, or if you're into naturopathy, or into some other kind of medicine. It loves you, period. You don't have to do anything at all to be loved by life. Unless you stop and say to yourself, oh, Pauline, life does not love me today. I feel sick. Someone I love is sick. Are you saying that life loves me? Yes. Yes. And yes again. When Louise Hay wrote this book, and she wrote it with a man, which I thought was very interesting, Robert Holden, she had come from a life of being abused, seriously abused. She tried to commit suicide when she was 9 years old. Her parents said, don't you eat those berries, you eat those berries, it could kill you. And she was feeling upset, as we sometimes get when we're children, sometimes we get when we're adults. We feel as though life is against us. And she went straight out, straight to that berry patch. She picked the berries and crammed as many as she could into her mouth. Fortunately, she didn't die, because she went on to write and inspire us over and over. This particular message comes from one of her books called You Can Heal Your Life. Love yourself as much as you can, and all of life will mirror this love back to you. Now, when you're in school, or maybe when you were a child, people said, oh, don't be so vain. Stop looking in the mirror. Quit that. This isn't about loving yourself, it's about love other people. Well, guess what? If you don't love yourself, then you cannot wholeheartedly love anybody else, because you will always be holding back some part. You must love yourself first. And even in the Bible, I love it when Lori picks up the Bible. It just makes me feel comforted. I don't know how. She walks over and she holds it and she opens it. This is not her Bible, this is my Bible. And I probably don't read it nearly as much as she reads hers. However, I did find something in here just about love. John chapter 16. The Father has loved me, so have I loved you. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Love each other as I have loved you. That's it. And if you believe that Jesus lived, if you believe that he did so many miracles, if you believe in his love for you, then you need to love yourself that much. Love your neighbor as yourself. It doesn't say love yourself as much as you love your neighbor. If we love ourselves, we then have that power, that impetus, that enthusiasm to stretch our arms out and genuinely love other people. So how do we go about doing this? Are they so sweet? Babies can, well, not super young babies, because Louise Hay says in their book, they tell this little story, and they talk about, I think his name is Ed, and they were at a dinner party, and they said, Ed kept getting up and going over and kissing the mirror. But they don't say it's a baby right at the beginning, and I was reading it, and I was thinking, some man called Ed went over and kept kissing the mirror, and we kept looking. They kept looking and saying, what's going on here? And Ed was oblivious, and every now and then he would get up, he'd go kiss the mirror. And people kept looking around and thinking, and they started to smile, and they kept looking. Well, it turned out Ed was 18 months old. And the story is that when you're really, really a tiny, weeny baby, you wouldn't kiss the mirror because you wouldn't recognize anything in the mirror. So what happens between our babyhood and now? Would you kiss the mirror right now? Oh, yay, Sylvia, yay, yay. Would you like a mirror? I have a choice. You have a choice. And I don't have one for everybody because I thought some people might not take any. I wasn't even going to do it right now, but since Sylvia smelled. This is 5 times magnified. Now, if you're like me, if you're a woman, you would think, no way, I'm not looking 5 times magnified. I'll see every tiny weeny little wrinkle, the hairs that are going where they're not supposed to go, eyes that are crossed, and who knows what all. But that one is 5 times. Because I know there are men in the audience, and I know men look at themselves in the mirror. I'm married, and I know, but this isn't about vanity. This is not about, are my hairs right, or all those other things that we do look at. This is about seeing your inner heart, your soul, your loving, wondrous spirit, divine energy incarnate. That's what this is about. So, but I thought maybe men might like one, something like that. And then when I got this, the next one, the woman said, oh, romper room, and I didn't correct her. It's this one. Because they're pretty and dainty. Now in here also is a mirror, and I've told you about this mirror before, if you heard me before. This has a little magnet, sits in our fridge. Kate, Sheila, what does this say?
Looks good to me.
Looks good to me. And it's not just if you're a baby, if you're a sweet little girl, if you're a kind person, if you're a loving person. This looks good to me, period. Because you have figured out that if you love yourself, you will then love the world. You can't have that one said. I didn't forget about you, don't forget. You can have a magnifying one, a fancy one, or this one. All right. Can you give a round of applause to Sylvia? Yay! Sylvia, would you stand up and just wave because this is being videotaped? And just keep, all right. Yay. It's symbolic, but it's genuine. Symbolic, but genuine. So it is so great that babies will kiss a mirror, and our wondrous leader, Sophia, who's so faithful to unity, will kiss a mirror in front of all of us. And it's saying, I am lovable. And that, you don't need any more than that. Think of it. Something horrible happened to you. Something nasty. Somebody was mean. They were critical. They ignored you. Somebody you loved got super sick. somebody you love made their transition. And the last thing in the world you want to say is, life loves me. You don't want to say that. You want to cry and stamp your feet and say, boo to life. But you've been practicing 10 times every day. That's what Louise Hay suggests. 10 times every day. And she agrees. There's a little girl who tried to kill herself at age 9, who was abused and raped and had a horrible, horrible life until she became famous. She said, this is hard. This is difficult. Because all of our life experiences and the people around us are saying, oh, I feel so horrible today. And then people pine, oh, I'm so sorry for you. Oh, poor you, poor you, poor you. And you hear poor you often enough, what you start to think, poor me. Life doesn't love me. They love that person. Martha Creek said this, and it's not on the slide, but she said, to compare is to despair. Is that so true? How often? I know I've done it. Maybe you've done it too. You look at someone and you think, oh, that person's got it all together. They have nothing to worry about. How lucky are they? You don't know. And it's not your business anyhow. I'm not saying don't be compassionate. But I am suggesting that if we recognize and appreciate life loves me, I am lovable, you won't go into this next dark tunnel. So what's our basic fear? I'm not lovable. Ooh, I did that horror. I was so mean yesterday. Oh, 28 years ago, I was not kind to my mother or my brother. Oh, that's in the past. What do we do in unity, my friends? We release and we affirm. Let go and affirm. And if you get that message today, I hope that you will share it. The next time somebody is whining in your ear and saying, oh, life doesn't care about me, I'm not lovable, poor me, maybe somehow to weave into your conversation a gentle, kind way of saying, do you know what? You are lovable. Life loves you. And if life didn't love you, why would you be here? Why? At my Zumba class, we do a little song, one of many songs. And so, guess who's going to lead? Sylvia! And now, she doesn't go to my Zumba class, but I told her ahead of time. Now, the words to it are pretty simple. Put me up, put me down, put my feet back on the ground, put me up, take my heart and make me happy. Okay, yay! Now, if you wanted to join, you could. Now, my suggestion is, when I first heard those words, I thought, oh, is somebody putting me down? Is somebody putting me up? Is somebody pulling my strings? So I suggest that we add the words I. I put me up. I put me down. I put my feet back on the ground. I put me up. I take my heart and make me happy. Who controls? We. Thank you, Dawn. We control our thoughts, and our thoughts control our actions. And nobody ever said in the entire universe, ever, life's just going to give you fun stuff. We're going to give you everything you need. All the delights and the treasures, guaranteed you will be happy. Did that happen to anybody in this room? Anybody? Put your hand up. Doesn't work that way. All right, I'm going to do it again. Somebody thought thought she was over it. No. If you would like to do it, please join me. And we have music for this, but not Jim's music, because I asked him if he knew this song. He said no, and I said, is it all right to do it? And he said, yes, it is. All right, so. Put me up, put me down, put my feet back on the ground. Put me up, take my heart and make me happy. One more time. Put me up, I put me down, I put my feet back on the ground. I take my heart, make me happy. Hey. All right, that was good enough. That was better than good enough. And I have to tell you, that's not really the tune. Singing is not my primary force. And moving on. Your perception of you, and this is from Course in Miracles, is your perception is a mirror, not a fact, and what you look on is your state of mind reflected outward. Does that make sense? That really goes with what we've talked about, doesn't it? So if you're in a grumpy, bad mood and you look in the mirror, are you going to look happy and thrilled and lovable? You're going to look grumpy because you're feeling grumpy, because you're thinking grumpy. However, Robert, in another part of the book, talked about thoughts, and talked about thoughts not being reality. Because he used to drive his daughter to school every day. It was a 30-minute trip. And depending on the traffic, sometimes they had lots of conversation. And dropping her off was a little bit difficult. And the little girl said, he said, oh, I know that you lost school, and I know you find the drop-off difficult. And she said, I know, it's just my thoughts, Daddy. Be kind to those thoughts and let them know you're okay, said the dad. She was quiet for a while, and then she asked a question. Maybe you've asked this question when you were very young. What is a thought made of? We have them all the time. What a great question. When we know that thoughts are just ideas, our version of reality, but not reality itself, can make a world of difference in how we experience life. Sometimes we think that somebody doesn't like us. That's just our perception. Doesn't make it real. Sometimes we think that our life is miserable. Maybe parts of it are not super happy. It doesn't make it real. You can choose your thoughts. Do you believe that? Or do you think your thoughts have dominion over you? Therein lies the secret, too, of happiness. I think we'll move on now. When we look at life lovingly, if you're judging, sometimes my husband will be driving and I'll be sitting in the car, which happened this morning. And I was putting on lipstick and I thought, ugh. I saw some pics in the mirror I didn't want to see, and then I thought, Pauline, what are you talking about today? Where's the message going to be? When you look in your mirror, do you see flaws? So, believe me, I have to practice what I teach, and sometimes it's tough. When you love and you look in the mirror, you see your essence. When you love and you look in the mirror, you see your essence. Love shining back at you. Life loves you. And when you go home today and you remember, hopefully you remember some of this, think of Sylvia, who said, I want to be a princess. She held the mirror in front of all of us. She kissed the mirror and she said, life loves me. I love life. I hope that some of you will practice this at home, because it works. Does it work all the time? Guaranteed 100%? No. It works a lot of time. Works enough that you would be willing to give it a try. Are you willing to give a try to the latest medicine, the latest fad diet? If someone tells you, do this, it'll make you healthy, are you willing to try that? Maybe. So why wouldn't you try this? It won't cost you a single cent. It will cost you nothing. And I invite you, if you do not have a mirror, there's the purple bag, there's the purple bag, to take a mirror and write a little message on it if you need to. Life loves me. We see things not as they are, but as we are. Your self-image is a filter of how you see the world. And if you ever describe yourself to someone and you say, oh, I'm getting old. Well, we talked about that last time. You're not doing that anymore, are you? You're saying, I'm wiser. I have experience to offer the world. Life loves me, and I love life. And look out, life, here I come. Or you may do it very quietly. Now, I love these two pictures. The little girl on her way, following her. I think it's a cat. The dog, it might be Chicken. My God. Even the little girl, hopefully, will feel loved. She may not. Maybe that little girl had somebody who was mean to her. Maybe her parents didn't treat her well. Maybe she had horrible teachers who said, you are dumb. So if that little girl is you, I'm sorry I didn't put a boy, couldn't find little boys walking. If that little girl was you, and now you're grown up, you need to recreate, change it around. And the wise woman is saying, I remember that little girl, and I got over the pain if there was pain, and here I am looking at the world lovingly. And I couldn't resist this picture. She doesn't care. She has no, if her teeth are going. She's looking in that mirror with joy, and maybe she's saying, I'm willing to let life love me today. Are you willing to let life love you today? I didn't hear anything.
Yes.
I hate it when speakers do that. But I had to do it anyway. So this time, you don't have to say it out loud, just in your heart. I ask you, are you willing to let life love you today? And if you say no, or if you say, well, I'm not sure, then the next step is ask yourself, why not? Remember, life loves you, period. You don't have to be good for life to love you. I mean, it's nice to be good. I mean, oh dear, here I am saying something awful here. You don't have to be anything but you. You don't have to be pretty or super kind or rich or talented for life to love you. If once you can get that, once you can understand that and take it deep within, that will change your life. I brought a copy of my book because way before I even heard of Louise Hay, I wrote a little poem. And I wrote the poem because a favorite professor upon whom I had a huge crush said to me, when women feel that they are loved by a man, they look in the mirror differently. And I thought about that for a long time. And I must say, to my shame, that I believed it for quite a while. I believed it when there was no man in my life. And when I looked in the mirror, I often felt sorry for myself. And I would say, what's wrong with me that nobody loves me? I'm not saying that for you to feel sorry for me. I'm saying that for any of you to recognize and appreciate that I know what that's like. But I also know what it's like to look in the mirror as a single woman, when I finally got my head straightened around, and say, you're okay. Looks good to me. I think it's wonderful if we have loving relationships. And it's wonderful if we have somebody who appreciates and affirms us. What if we don't? That's when the challenge comes in. That's when you really, really have to get to nitty-gritty and look in the mirror and say, I love myself. Life loves me. And you're not relying on somebody else to build you up. When I look in the mirror, who do I see? Do I only see scars, lines, crooked nose? Can I cherish the beauty of this flawed, unique rose? Do I fuss about hair that seems out of place? Or accept with a grin this irreplaceable face? That's what I wrote a long, long time ago. It has way more meaning than that. It's not just that we know that life loves us. It's that once we accept that, we can give back to life in the most loving, embracing, wondrous way that changes lives. Think of this woman, willing to let life love me today. And Marianne Williamson, when we make love the bottom line, the foundation of everything. We experience who we really are and what it is we're meant to do in any moment when we pour our love into the universe. We pour it because we have it. We have it because every day we are practicing life loves me. And finally, love life and do what you love. And I'm doing what I love right now, and I thank you so much for that. From the bottom of my heart, you cannot know how grateful I am for Unity of London and for the members of our Unity of London community, for Jim, for Larry, for Ken Stubbs back there in the booth. Find what you love to do and pour it back. And let us go into meditation. First, the song.
Surely, presence of love is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings, see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings, see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place.
I invite you to relax into your chair, to release any doubt or fear or shame or anxiety, to just let it go, release it, and to affirm instead the deep love, the strength, the faith, the courage that always is in you, always, always, always. To be aware of that inexhaustible source, divine energy that is with you 24 hours, every single minute. You can call upon. Rumi said, love is a mirror. It reflects only your essence if you have the courage to look it in the face. And that was from the book, Life Loves You by Louise Hay and Robert Wilden. In the next few moments, I invite you to repeat this phrase, life loves me. Period. Life loves me. And all the ramifications in your life, how that belief, that faith can totally transform your life. So for the next few moments, in case your attention wanders, in case those thoughts come back in, just kind of squelch, you feeling loved, just repeat. Life loves me. And I'll let you know when your time is up. I invite you to open your eyes now to look at people around you with love in your heart, knowing that life loves you and you have lots and lots of love to share. And so it is. And so we let it be and hold it to our hearts and carry it away with us. Yes. Amen.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Our greatest fear is that we are unlovable. Thank you, Pauline, for so beautifully and graphically sharing with us what it is to love ourselves and the importance of it. Now it is our time for giving and receiving your tithes and offerings. Our unity principles teach us we are one with divine source, and so we give not to source, but as source. Giving has been described as a spiritual practice of radical generosity, giving to what we wish to see flourish. Giving puts us in the flow of divine abundance. By the back door of the sanctuary on the wall, you will find intention cards. These may also be placed in the offering bag. This week, our prayer angels will uphold your intentions for what you want to achieve, either as a plan for your day or your life. Now, let us affirm our prosperity together by singing our offering blessing.
Thy love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Well, as we've mentioned, as you can see, Carla's not here today, and we had some tunes prepared for you, but I can't do them by myself. So the last instant, as Pauline was talking, a tune popped into my head, and I thought, that's the song we need to do for two reasons. One, Carla wrote it, and so she can be with us a little bit today. And secondly, it's a song about recognizing the power that can help us live a fulfilled life, and that shows us that we are living. I just want to do read the very last verse, and then I'll do the tune. The last verse is, and so my grateful, foolish heart knows love surrounds me still, secure in hope and peace and faith, in unity fulfilled. Where I am, here is where I'm going. Spirit, take me by the hand. Wonder just which road to take. We're vexed by all the choices. They wind up going nowhere fast. Confused by all the voices, I have to settle down the noise, still my mind and soul. The gentle calming melody that makes my whole life whole. Here is where I was, here is where I am, here is where I'm going. Spirit, take me by the hand. Through the calming silence I know Spirit's drawing near. I see it in all living things and people everywhere. So my grateful, foolish heart knows love surrounds me still, secure in hope and peace and faith, in unity fulfilled. Here is where I was, here is where I am, Spirit is where I'm going. Spirit, take me by the hand. Here is where I was, here is love surrounds me still.
Thank you, Carlin. Together, let's bless these offerings and tithes. Spirit, we are so grateful for all the gifts that are given each Sunday and the days throughout the week through the other methods besides people being here. For we see this energy called money flowing through us and growing us and transforming us. We see all our members of Unity of London and their abundance, and we share that abundance with the world, and so it is. Amen. Let's sing.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are all part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us, let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
So as you awake each morning, start your day with, life loves me. Yes. And carry it right through the whole day. And our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me, I am light. The love of God enfolds me, I am love. The power of God protects me, I am power. The presence of God watches over me, I am presence. Wherever I am, God is, I am divine. Yay, God.
Spread the word of what unity can offer. Spread the word of the message that you heard. Spread the word of what is easy or spread the word. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word of all the things we shared this morning. Spread the word that you're surrounded here by love. Spread the word. Let our doors and hearts are open. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word to anyone who's lost and lonely. Spread the word. We extend the hand of love. Spread the word. Spirit opens all who join us. Spread the word. Spread the word. Spread the word. Spread the word. Of what unity can offer. Spread the word. As we believe in peace and love. Spread the word. Let our doors and hearts are open. Spread the word. Spread the word. Spread the word. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Very good, everybody.
There's lots of mirrors up here. Come get a mirror.
Thank you.